Okay, the water system. If you are dry camping, like you have no connections, you're not connected to any water source, power source for your electricity, it's called dry camping. If you're dry camping, you're going to use the water that you brought. Fresh water that you brought, right? You filled it up before you got here. All right. It's not under pressure. It's in a container. That's why it has a pump. The pump is over there. Pressurizes the water, sends it through the pipes. That's the pump in the background, the noise, okay? That's how you get your water to flow. Pump has to be on, and you have to have water. And you have to have electricity in the battery or connected to the generator in order for the pump to go on. Okay, so using the restroom. Number one, when you use the restroom, you don't want this thing on. Why? Because what's inside the toilet is gassy, right? A lot of fumes in there from using the restroom, okay? So, as you can see, there's a little bit of water in there. That is going to create like a, kind of like a P-trap in a house. It's going to block the gases trying to come through. It keeps them down in case the seal's no good or whatever. It keeps the gases down. If you turn that fan on, it acts as a vacuum. It's pulling the air out. So it's going to suck air from underneath the door. And it's going to suck air from the inside of the toilet when you hit the flush. So it's going to make it smell like whatever's inside your toilet. So right now, the tank was empty. I filled it up in order to make it usable. So let's say you went and you dumped your black, your solid waste, your restroom water, right? The tank is dry. This system is not like a household system where you flush the toilet and the water is unlimited and the toilet just flushes because it has the tank, right? This one does not like that. So in this one, what you do, let's say you use the restroom, you threw your toilet paper, you handled your business, right? You want to have some water in the bowl. So it has two functions right here. Rinse, which is going to release some water. So you want enough water in there to absorb your business and your toilet paper mainly. Okay? Let it absorb. You're done. You're finished. You hit the flush. You hit the flush. And you allow some extra water to go with it to break down your toilet paper. Remember, we have the tanks closed, so it's just storing the waste down there. So you want to add enough water to break down the toilet paper. Otherwise, if you just use the restroom like it's a porta potty, then it's going to react like a porta potty. When you look down into the drain, you're just going to have this big old iceberg, this teepee of toilet paper that's just stacking and not breaking down. And it might cause a clog. And when you go to drain the black, it's not going to come out. You're going to be stuck. You're going to have to, I don't know what you're going to have to do. Stick a snake down there. You have to break down the toilet paper manually. So when you use the restroom, when you flush, let a little extra water run. And when you're done, leave a little water like that for the gases don't escape. And then when you're all done with that, you close the lid. And you turn your fan back on. No problem. If you have the fan on when you're showering, no problem. But when you use the restroom, that's what you want to do. And let's say you emptied the black. You filled up. So you had to go dump, right? You emptied the black out. What you need to do, I would put about, at least in this tank, smaller RV, I would at least put 3 buckets, 3 gallons of water in there. That way when you use the restroom, your toilet paper and your whatever you're dropping in there is just not hitting the bottom of the tank. Just imagine a bucket. You want to have some water in there. You just don't want the plastic bucket just taking shots, stacking up and piling up. As if you do that, your stuff's not underwater. When you open that flush valve, all that smell's coming out. So that's what you do. If you do empty out, underneath the sink, there's these orange bombs right here. These help break down the fats in your number 2 or what else you throw in there. Toilet paper helps break down the toilet paper. So you want to throw one of those. I always throw 2, and then you want to put about 1/2 cup of Dawn. It breaks down the fats and it makes it smell good. If you don't do that, when you use the restroom and you hit that flush, gases are going to come out. Just think, imagine there's a big fart in there, and every time you open it up, if you don't have it smelling good, well, then that's what you're going to smell, whatever you dropped in there. So it's not the RV. It's going to be that if you mishandle it. Follow my instructions and you won't have any problems. 5-minute video. It's going to save you from smelling like something else. Hot water. Okay, it's going to heat up the water that you have, that you brought with you. If you're connected to an RV site, it's going to heat up whatever water is connected. How do you turn on the water heater? You come here, you hit on. You're gonna see it light up red. That means you're gonna hear it too. Hear it? Okay, it attempted to light. If it stays off, it means it's on. If it goes on and it stays on, listen. It's trying to ignite. I don't have the gas on right now. Anyways, if you have the propane open, it will ignite and the light will go off. If you have it on the on position and the light is off, you're good. If it's on and the light is on, check your gas connection, especially if you hear it and see it going on and off, you're not lit. Hot water, all right? If you have the light, if you have it on the on and the red light's on, it's going to try to light. If it stays off, you're good. If it goes back to the on, you're not good. Hot water. Refrigerator. Again, if you're at a campsite, you're plugged into their 30 amp connector. You're plugged into the wall. You'll just hit the on, put it on auto, and it's going to automatically connect to their electricity. If you have the generators connected, it'll do the same thing. It'll go to auto and the refrigerators will go on. You want to connect this thing about a day before you take off so it can start getting cold. And you don't want to put room temperature food in there. You want to put cold stuff in there or it's going to drop the temperature. It's not like a house refrigerator where it's just made for, you know, a lot of food. It's an RV refrigerator. It takes a while to get cold and to make things cold. All right, so electricity. If you're connected to electricity, you're good to go on auto. If the check light comes out for any reason, if it lights up, you are not on. The system is on, but it's not functioning. Turn it off. Try it again, and it shouldn't have the check light. If it has the check light, you're not getting cold. It's not working. Okay, so if you're in the middle of nowhere and you're not connected to electricity, you don't have generators, you'll need a battery, regular car battery that's connected up front. You'll hit the on to get the signal. You'll hit the gas. Your propane will be on, and this thing will run off of propane. It'll ignite, and somehow propane cools the refrigerator. I don't know how. Don't ask me the science behind it, but that's what it does. It'll run off of propane. You have to have battery. If you're connected to the generators, again, leave it on auto, leave it on, and you're going to be good to go. And that's it on the fridge. For the TV, it's easy. There's an auxiliary cord coming out from the bottom of here. Screw it into the TV. Turn it on. The antenna's right here. You crank it to raise it until it stops, and then you crank it till it stops when you're leaving to take it down. You have a button right here with the auxiliaries coming through. You push it and it'll boost your signal. When you're leaving, take the TV down so it doesn't break. That's it on the TV. Alright, this is where you drain them from. This is the rear driver's side. You have two valves here. The smaller one is for your sink water, the gray water, the liquid waste. As it says here, the one on the right, 3-inch pipe, is body waste. That's what comes out of your insides into the toilet. So you come here and you pull this black one. So that'll be everything draining from the toilet. You always want to keep the gray one closed when you're about to dump the black one, because you want that water like as a chaser. It's sink water, it has soap in it. The shower water has shampoo in it. So it's going to partially flush out this hose after the body waste drains out. Otherwise the hose is going to smell not so good. So that is going to help you clean it up when you're done. So pull the gray, you'll hear it, or just give it 10 minutes and come back. No big deal. You don't have to be here watching it. Make sure your connection's not leaking. I have it connected to my sewer in my backyard, but if you go to a dump, they usually have connectors where you thread into the ground so there's no mishaps. You're not supposed to dump it anywhere else. If you do, that's on you. And you know, just be careful, because this stuff comes out pretty quick and you're gonna smell. So like I said, when this one drains out, you close it and then you'll pull the gray. You don't necessarily need to pull the black if it's not full. Let's say your gray filled up first, and you just come over here and pull your gray. If you were at a campsite and you were connected to the sewer, you would just leave the gray open until your last day, because you would need some water in there to chase the black out. So we'll let this drain. I'll come back later. I'll try to make a long video.